what it is right now, family. Yo, sister Shakesha, the pretty priestess, is on the scene, jumping back here with this Mercury retrograde, and not really having that much of a technical difficult time that I thought I was gonna have. It started off a little rough, but it's I'm navigating it. I'm dealing with it. I'm working it out. So yeah, what is going on? Cold weather. I live in Pittsburgh. Nothing new here. February, Pittsburgh is cold weather. We know how to deal with it. This is what we do. We get down with the winter in the burg. However, down there in Texas, something different's going on down there. They don't know nothing about this life, right? And unfortunately, there was I think about 100 car pileup out there with those slick roads and everything. So I'll shade to any of the individuals that may have lost their lives, and I'm sending love and light out to all of those individuals that was affected by that whole tragic situation that was going on out there. But wow, holy shit! And once one of those tractor trailers get to sliding, that's what they said. It was a tractor trailer that kind of set it off. There ain't nothing you can do with that too much. So dang, oh, I was like, whoa, whoa, whoa. And the people that live down there in the south, they ain't about this life. They ain't got no snow tires. They probably didn't have a crew to treat the roads. None of that. It was just let's hope for the best type of situation out there. So peace and love to the cast that's out there in Texas that's going through this change of shock because I'm sure that this is something that they have not been used to. But the people in the Berg, um, even though they don't really have probably too much sympathy, I do. I absolutely do because y'all probably did not prepare for this. And you ain't got the winter coat collection going on like we do here in Pittsburgh. Oh, we ready for it. We got our gear. And I'm almost sure that most people down there are not prepared like we are. So, shout out to the cats down south in Texas that's experiencing this cold, doing the most. Stay from the hell out of there, and it'll be over with shortly. It can't last forever, right? So, yeah, definitely. Let's get a move on. Oh, wow. I heard that Nick Cannon is back on the scene. He got his show back. He got his stuff back. He got his swag back. So go ahead, Nick Cannon, doing the most out there. So apparently, with the thing that happened with Nick Cannon is Nick Cannon got into this thing where he decided to be woke, and he wanted to do an expose on Dr. Sabi and talked about his modality. And in his, I guess, diving deep into the life of Dr. Sabi, he kind of hooked up with a lot of the cats that run in the ciphers where Dr. Sabi was at. And it started leading him down a path of self discovery. And on his path, he ran into a wonderful guy named Professor Griff. And if you don't know who Professor Griff was the knowledge and power behind Public Enemy back in the 80s. And I know everybody is hip to Chuck D because he was the voice of that and everything. But Professor Griff brought that knowledge, brought that discipline up in there, and really brought the vibe of Black excellence to the message that Public Enemy was delivering. So a special shout out, Nashe, to Professor Griff, who is definitely one of them pioneers from back in the day, and definitely a really positive example of what a Black man in his power is looking like, in my humble opinion. And there's a lot of them out there. It ain't just him, but he is definitely an example of that. And so apparently in that conversation, he really began to, Professor Griff began to educate Nick Cannon on the connection with Blacks and Jews, and really started enlightening him to how Black people were the original Jews. And if you check into the history, you'll start to see how that shows up in the history teachings. And that's a lot of the information. I do believe the what's the brothers with the bullhorn? Hebrew Israelites. Yeah, I got it. Would always talk about the black man was the original Jew and in that whole conversation and everything. Now, apparently that got some folks mad, and they had some power behind them, and I guess he, got a lot of backlash from the powers that be that are within the within Hollywood, within the whole entertainment industry. That's what I was looking for. The whole entertainment industry got a lot of folks pissed off because we know that there's a lot of Jewish individuals that call shots in the entertainment industry. And with that, Nick Cannon was faced with some opposition and some dissatisfaction, and some folks that just straight didn't appreciate the exchange that he and Griff had teaching the history of blacks and Jews. Boy, they really would have kicked his ass if he got a hold and sat down with Farrakhan. Boy, that would have been no good. But that's a discussion for another time. Anyway, so with that, Nick Cannon, I guess he got his show canceled, and some other backlash and everything, and it was beginning to play a game with his money. So Nick Cannon began to backtrack just a little something, and take a couple of steps back and say, "Oh, maybe this ain't what I was looking to do. I ain't about this life, because he do wear shoes that look like they in $1,000 zone or more." And and the clothes and everything that he wear, his material, that stuff is important to him. And so you can see that. And like I said, I ain't in a Nick Cannon financial bracket, so I don't know what that's about, and I think that I might look at things a little differently. Now we can keep it real. Get the hell out of here. I would have told him, "Hey, listen, I was just trying to learn. I'm very sorry too." I probably would have pulled a Nick Cannon myself, because sometimes living comfortably for you and your family is a lot more important than keeping it real when it's really going wrong. And in this particular case, it was going wrong. He would have been in no position to make an impact on people, but he got so much backlash for selling out and for being this person, and all of that shit that comes along with people that kind of step out into this knowledge, and then really start digging into the truth, start upsetting folks that's influencing the purse strings, and then it turns into a complete different situation. Well, that's kind of what he got. But he's making like serious money, like serious money. Like kids ain't got to struggle, probably taking care of a lot of family members' money. You know what I'm saying? Like he is making this ain't a little bit of money he looking at losing with this conversation and everything. So he tried to modify it a little bit and hooked up, I think, with Tiffany Haddish, and and did some integrational kumbaya type of conversations that was going on and everything. And so there's a lot of folks that's not really satisfied with that. And apparently he's saying, "Oh, well, I found out that my granddad was a Jew." Well, how about that, huh? How about that? Just putting a little bit of weight into what Professor Griff was sharing with him. So how about that? That's some irony for your ass. So all in full circle and all of that, just those little nuggets right there. Just those little nuggets. I like those little beams of light that kind of shine through some darkness um, on certain occasions. And this one right here, I was able to catch that shit. I said, Dad, granddad's a Jew, you say? How about that? Ain't that sweet? Bless his heart. I shaded your granddaddy. Anyway, I know, again, I am getting with this number game. So I done ordered me up some books. I got the King Zion, what is that? King Simon, the numerization book or something like that. And I'm gonna tell you something. I listen to him on social media and everything, and he's been kicking it, and I just really vibe with his style and everything. So I'm definitely excited to take a look at the book and just really dive deeper into these numbers. I got a book that was recommended to me called The Life You Were Born to Live by Dan Millman. And I got to tell you, this has really been giving me some enlightening insight on how these numbers go, and also just a whole lot of other spiritual laws to look into and everything. This is a powerful, powerful book, and I was really able to get a lot out of this and really learn a lot about myself This is an awesome book. So this is going to definitely be a wonderful addition to the stuff that I got coming my way and some other stuff here. And then I just dig through. I got some books because I'm one of those people that like to cruise through the half price bookstores and book fairs and shit like that and just find little stuff as I go along. Or if somebody gives me a hot tip on a book, I'm rocking with that too. So definitely got that number game. The numbers game is real to me, and I'm just starting to notice just a lot of patterns, a lot of different stuff that I'm pulling out that's just empowering me in a mighty way. So yeah, the number game is real. And then I've been watching the Astros closely. We already know that Mercury is in retrograde. All of them planets is in the sign of Aquarius and everything. But then let's check out the year. The 2021 is a 5 year. And we know that shit's all about action and movement and traveling and shit like that. So people's life is finna change. Yes, finna change. The challenge with that five energy is to have that balance of discipline and freedom. Discipline is the key. Discipline is the key. Staying disciplined, staying on course, staying focused, and sticking to it with this five energy because shit's about to change in a magical and powerful way in 2021. Not just for anybody. If y'all have not been getting on them Thursday Jupiter rituals, you need to get on this. We are fighting for our reparations. We are doing the work in a powerful way. We already got them brothers and sisters over at Yale University really crafting together some powerful work that's really, I think it's really going to move us into that direction of getting those reparations. If we really do, we got to do the work on all planes. We got to work on all levels. We got to work together. We got to start educating people. We got to start doing the spiritual work. We got to put this work in and support this energy. And right now, this Jupiter energy is just reparations in itself, but also expansion. So reparations is all a part of that expansion energy. Like, how can you really heal? How can you really grow until you start to receive justice for what's going on in this world? And it is really hard. And for anybody that might even be creeping around, it is going to be really difficult to convince a race of people that don't have full citizenship, that do not receive justice, to take an injection yet again with the history that we have. And still yet, our children can be executed publicly without any justice. And 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 you suggest we take what? Okay. Whatever. But anyway, five is a year all about change. Look out for it. It's coming your way. What about that job? What about that new relationship? What about that new way to go? What about that book you was trying to put down? What about it? What about it? What about that podcast? What about that? Let's get that because it's time to receive that. Yeah, let's do that. Oh, hold up. Because again, I've been doing some powerful time traveling again. And like I said, I don't know how that does for you, but me getting an opportunity to go back into different years and just really get some peace. This is some serious like shadow type work if you're really thinking about it though, right? Just on a deeper, I mean, not really on a deeper level, but it makes it look like it's on a playful, insignificant level. And this, see, I like when the work is fun like that. You know, when the work is fun like that and you can go back and you can go to a time that might not have been such a positive time in your life and really review it with a little bit of distance and really get some clarity on just what was happening and then elevate from that whole experience or be able to move past some of those blockages or really get some insight as to how you've been operating and making some adjustments, you know, so that you can make these outcomes more desirable for yourself, right? It's a powerful thing to do, y'all. I don't give a daggone. Hold up. Let me see if you remember this one. Damn, I just had that on there. And now, hold up. Let me see if I can find that. Just one more time. Because this one right here, this one right here, when I take y'all to this year real quick, hey, don't say I didn't warn you. Check this. Check this. She used to be my girl. She had a charming personality. The girl was so right for me. She's my girl. Had the chance, so I'll take her back. Oh yeah, 1978. That was the OJ's kicking. She used to be my girl. Now, your girl right here was just a little wee something something back at that particular time. I was about 3 years old, but I used to rock with this. My dad used to jam to this song. And man, it just brings back those memories of me chilling in my dad's powder blue deuce and a quarter and sitting back with him chilling, and he would be just sitting there, and and maybe he was puffing a doob at the time, or he don't do that no more. He done outgrew that. I think he let that go. It doesn't, he's not offended by it, but that was what he was doing. Or smoking his cigarette, leaned out the window, thinking he was gonna have his hat ace deuce. Just bringing back some really good memories, and going to visit my Uncle JR and everything, who wear all this cologne. I told y'all about Uncle JR and his rule about how you can't have no ashy ankles or you ain't a real woman. That was just his thing, but Uncle JR was the shit to me. And yeah, just some really, really powerful times. But 1978, let's look at that shit real quick. Well, number one, they had some fly ass fashion going on. I gotta come and take a peek at the fashion and everything. And of course, they had a vicious scarf game going on. A lot of cats like that. I do remember. See, my grandma used to rock this swag back in the day, man. And I'm gonna tell you something. I'm a scarf fanatic now. I don't know. I got sold into scarves. It's just, I don't know. It can bring the most boring and dull outfit to life. It just breathes life into an outfit that would ordinarily be, and then it just, boom, makes it pop. I love these scarves. But let's hold up. Let me back up because I want y'all to catch some shit too. This is another thing. These numbers, boy. So 1978, 1978, when you add them all up, it adds up to the number 25, and 2 plus 5 is 7. So 1978 was a 7 year. The number 7, that's the energy of spirituality, consciousness, right? And one of the real challenges in working in that 7 energy, right, is trust and openness. But check this shit out, y'all. Check this out. In 1978, check the history now. This was a time when it was that whole Jim Jones fiasco. And if you don't know what that was about, man, this was the craziest shit. In 1970, it was this preacher named Jim Jones over in Africa. What was it, Ghana or Guyana or something like that? This preacher, Jim Jones, who convinced all of these black folks to drink some Kool-Aid with cyanide in it and die. And they knew that they were going to die. Like, that's a strong rap game right there. How in the hell you get? But see here, I'm going to tell y'all all over again. See, this is that white Jesus shit right there. Because how in the hell? I know I couldn't have convinced these people to drink no damn Kool-Aid with cyanide in it. They knew it. Like, oh, this world ain't no good no more. We got to come up out of this bitch. Drink this juice. Let's get up out. You know what I'm saying? No one's following me for that. No one. See, this is what the impact of racism and white supremacy has done at its best. And they thought this man was some version of Christ or something. Some madness. And they said that he started off like really powerful, like really coming through for black folks, really showing up, really fighting injustices and everything. And it morphed into some twisted madness, And who knows, and so when somebody take it this far, ain't no telling what other simple, crazy red flag shit that we probably could have caught a long time ago had they stopped this for. But they're so busy deifying an image. This is what the problem is. This is what the problem is. And so you forgive them anything. And this is why today in our culture, we can still live with getting injustice, watching people kill our children in the street. We never receive justice, walk up in our children's homes, blast them away while they in the bed, and we get no justice for it. No justice. They can walk up into a church where they worship in the house of God. Take everybody up out of there. And we talk, and we forgive you. Can kill this man frying chicken wings in his house and forgive. So busy forgiving. Fuck forgiveness. Especially if you kill my child, man. I ain't got no forgiveness for you. I was listening to over on the remix where Brother Bilal was saying the same thing, and I'm with that all the way, 100%. Man, get the fuck out of here. Forgive you after you done tore my life apart. A Korean woman blast a 12-year-old girl. I think she was 12, 10. I know she was a child in her convenience store. Get 6 months of probation. Talking about she ain't a risk to society. Did y'all not realize that she just executed a child in broad daylight? But I guess that don't make her public enemy number one. I would lock my door from somebody like that. But there's no justice. And we think this is okay because we have adopted this system of racism and white supremacy. It's time for that shit to end. So we need to get with this damn ass Jupiter reparations ritual. We need to do the work. We need to speak out against injustice, and we need to stick together, and we need to quit making fucking excuses. All lives matter. We already know that, but they forgot that ours do because our kids are dying. How about that one? Do away with this bullshitting ass white Jesus madness, because this is the reason why we can't catch no damn victory. When God is in somebody else's image, you will never see victory. I had to get that off. Anyway. But yeah, 1978 was a powerful year, and a spiritual year it was. So what you in the hell you trusting? You can trust somebody tell you drink some poison Kool-Aid. What type of foolishness is that? Because you are conditioned to believe in righteousness that does not exist. You see that there's no righteousness, but you're conditioned to believe so. What the hell is the matter with you? Allowing somebody to continue to hand you poison and you take it, even if it feels wrong. Damn, I wasn't even talking about this shit today. Let me move on. No disrespect to anybody. And so let me get into all of this other stuff too, because 1978 had me all like, what? Had me all on positive memory, and then I was like, hold up, wait, what? Let's see what really happened in this spiritual year, and then this madness, and then it just brought me into a whole nother space. Anyway, but no disrespect at all. So I want to talk about cleansing for a little bit, and there's another one that I want to talk about with no disrespect with that, because I come into this work in total ignorance. Total ignorance. Okay, when I first started getting into this work, when I started doing this work, when I started studying with this, and I took several classes, several things, and like years of studying with a whole bunch of people, but I still come from a perspective where I came from the church. So I'm completely and totally ignorant. So once you teach me something, I run with it. No disrespect. And so what I've been doing really is once I started understanding the concept and how the energy flows and how it works, I started just testing theories out myself, not knowing that I was violating a code or all of that other bullshit. It just ended up working with me. And how I've been doing that for all of these years and all of these books that I held is that I get out here and I get into the work, and then I check in with the research and all of that other stuff. But I promise you, once I understand how to do, hold up, this is some solar plexus stuff. So the color is yellow and gold. Let's work with that. Let me get a yellow candle. Let me get this. You know what I'm saying? So just being in alignment with the energy where I'm trying to work with this energy of building my esteem up and building this and that up. And then I just evolved this after I got out of the priestesshood, and we really focused on how that energy works, and we don't have to necessarily follow the system within hand, but more take a more intuitive approach. Oh shit, it took off like a balloon. And no disrespect again, because I don't mean to shit on anybody's practice or anybody's system or anything like that. I don't know. I don't know. I have no idea what your system is. I have no idea what the practice is. I have no idea what the correct way was. But let me tell you this, I live in absolute victory, or at least the victory of my understanding. With doing this, it is effective. And my process works. Absolutely. Absolutely. So anyway, I was going through this when I first started really getting into this work. Over the fear of going to hell and all of that other stuff. After I didn't work past all of that, because that takes a minute to shake that program. Make no mistake about it. So after I worked out the fear of going to hell, I went to a book fair and grabbed a hold of this book called Spiritual Cleansing, which was a really powerful tool that I started working with. And this is where I started off and seeing some real results in doing this work. Because you need to know, I never believed none of this shit. You know, I didn't believe in magic. I didn't believe in it. I didn't believe in metaphysics. None of that bullshit I wasn't sure about. I understood the science. I believed that there was a little something different going on out there and everything. But I needed to see that for sure. So I would say, it was intriguing to me. I was drawn to that shit. You know what I'm saying? But will it really work? Well, let's see what it do. So this is what got me into the mode of let's see what it do. Instead of hearing, okay, I hear what you talking about. Let's see what it do. Well, picking up this book, I read through it. Let's see what it do. This is where I learned that spiritual baths absolutely work. Absolutely work. Absolutely. Did not know that, but thanks to this book, it opened me up. After I realized that the baths work, after I realized that spiritual cleansing worked, I took off like a damn rocket, family. I took off. And that is when I knew that there was nothing to be afraid of. Let's proceed forward with the right vibration. And off I went. So then I started getting into these baths that were cleansing, and they talk about how baking soda, like common household goods. And so on the old channel that I used to have, I used to talk about like stuff that you can do around the house, like a lot of kitchen magic type of stuff that I was dabbling in and everything. And baking soda, hydrogen peroxide, and apple cider vinegar, are the trinity in household spiritual cleansing, as far as I'm concerned. Now, you know what? I forgot about that salt. So maybe it's the square, whatever. But anyway, those were the three things that I was working with, because at the time I really wasn't hip to how salt got down. You know, I mean, I knew, but not, you know what I'm saying? The connection wasn't there. But with this right here, with this baking soda, I took a cup of baking soda and a handful of Epsom salt, as instructed in this book, and threw it in the water and said, let's see what it do. Because I'm feeling some type of way. I was feeling stressed. I was feeling aggravated. I was feeling all of this shit. I got in there and I took that bath, And I really did feel better. But I took that off too. You know what I'm saying? My grandma used to give some remedies, how you feel better after taking a bath, blah, 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 this, that, and the other. So then I went into a time of when I was feeling like depressed. And I'm not like one of those cats that get depressed where I need to take medication, thank goodness, because that runs in my family. I mean, it's a possibility. Or maybe I'm not, or maybe not prescribed medication. Let's put it that way, huh? And that runs in my family. And so it shows up differently for me. It shows up for me when I'm in that space, and it's usually around this time of year, around the colder months. Let's say somewhere around Decemberish, when it starts getting really cold. They call that seasonal affective disorder, where your mood starts to go down because I guess the sun's not around as much, and so that affects you, and it definitely does that for me. And so when I'm feeling down and out, I was feeling depressed. It shows up for me as anger, and I'm annoyed, and people are on my nerves, and you know what I'm saying? I just don't want to be bothered. I don't need a motherfucker crowding me, and you know what I'm saying? I'm just in that space, right? And so I couldn't find my joy. I couldn't find something to like help me to come up out of that space for that, at that particular time. So I put together from the instruction in this book, it was a parsley bath with honey. Now, parsley is usually connected to prosperity rituals. I had to brain freeze, my bad. Prosperity rituals, right? But you use that, and then you use a tablespoon of honey, and you put that in your water, and you submerge yourself in that water. What is that? About what, 6, 7 times? You submerge yourself in the water, and it is supposed to help to lift that depressive episode up off of you. I'm saying, well, we'll see what it do, right? So I go ahead and I prepare the bath. I put it together. I set the intention and everything. Got it right. Got in there. Did that work. And woke up the next morning. I'm going along my day. I didn't even think nothing of it. And then all of a sudden I said, hold up. Today was a good day. Holy shit. Holy shit. So now anytime that starts to happen to me, when it gets around that time of year, I make it my business to do those baths. So I've been doing them for several years now. Around that time, I gotta tell y'all, that shit works. That shit, at least for me, it did. Now, you take that shit and be like, that shit didn't work for me. Well, I don't know what to say to you. Sorry about that. It didn't work out for you. Sorry about that. You gotta try another method. But for me, it absolutely worked, and I was so pleased with this. But this book right here was definitely key into helping me achieve that whole success with that. However, disclaimer, this dude right here is on some different shit. Like I said, no disrespect, because I don't mean to shit on anybody's process or anything like that, because I don't know really how it's supposed to go down. Only thing that I know is what I intuitively pick up, and what I get led to do, and I start working with it. It works for me in a powerful way, and even more powerful than me pulling one of these books and taking a verbatim spell out of it and doing the work with that. Like my own special sauce or something. I don't know what that is. However, this dude is a little legalistic. He's like, you can absolutely not use anything except for spring water with these spiritual bath rituals. Well, I missed that part apparently, because I was just like going through it like, oh, let's see what it is, what it do, and leafing through it, and missed that part until later. And it said, don't use distilled water for anything and all of this other stuff. I use distilled water for certain things, especially when I'm doing like herbal tea rituals and stuff like that. So I don't know, where he may have gotten that from. And I also don't know if he got a hold of Dr. Emoto's work, because he was real specific and legalistic about the type of water that he was using. Like, it has to be the spring water. It can't be water from the rain. It can't be because it don't hold the charge of energy and all of this other shit. And I'm like, I don't know if he read Emoto's work, where you can kind of change the vibration on any goddamn water. Did you know that, pimpin'? Because if you didn't, you would have definitely wrote a different book. However, this is his system. I'm not shitting on it. And he probably like, no, I heard that bullshit and I ain't feeling it. Whatever, that's cool too. But in my experience, no disrespect, family. No disrespect. I promise y'all, no disrespect on no one's system, no one's process, no one's thing, because I don't have a system or a process. It's spirit led, it's divine. It's divine. So even before I was involved in the priestesshood, I was calling myself Shakesha Divine because I was just getting these downloads that was just like, and it was making me so uncertain that I was kind of afraid to share with people. So it was kind of, my throat chakra was severely blocked because I was so concerned about speaking my truth, being judged, and a whole bunch of other crazy mental shit that was going on with me at that particular time, that I didn't really bring it with the real truth that I should have brought it in, because I didn't think nobody would feel me. But now I'm in a space where I don't give a shit. So now here we go. I'm doing this because this is what I love. And if there's only one or two Negroes or two white folks or two Chinese folks or two Hispanic folks or whatever in the fuck, two purple folks, two people on Sirius B that catch a little something from what I got to say, then hot damn it. All right. Anyway, no disrespect. So no disrespect. So if this guy is connected to some type of spiritual practice, spiritual system or something like that, and he's given specific instructions according to his path, I give him much respect because he's blessed me in a tremendous, or her, or if that's, I don't know for sure, in a tremendous way, because the name is Draja Makarharik. Right. So I'm not really sure if this was male or female that put this book out, but it definitely helped me out. It definitely propelled my spiritual practice, no doubt about it. However, I do have some issues with the legalistics in this, but I'm one of those people. I will read anybody's book. I will, I done got me some software on Satanism because I done realized it's not because I want to go and start up a church and let us all get our Satan worship on, but I just want to know. I just want to understand how that works and what would compel you. Because see, from what my understanding of what Satan is and all of that, who in the hell would want to do that? What the fuck? What you want to worship something like that for? But maybe I've misunderstood it, because we already know that what we've been taught is a bunch of bullshit at the end of the day. So let's see what it is. I'm just open to knowing. So again, no disrespect, in the sincerest, highest vibration, I do give this all due respect. This practice is definitely some life-changing shit. And I have not seen more victory under any other system than just being in tune with myself and just being open to allow spirit to work through me. That practice right there is second to none, my family. Second to none. Also, floor washes is in this book. He talks about that bluing. I know that there's a lot of people that are involved in the hoodoo tradition and all of that. I ain't know nothing about that. I just knew that bluing, I got a tip on that. And I threw that in the tub, and it definitely helped me in delivering my speech better, helped me to articulate my thoughts a lot more clear, and helped me to really stand in my truth and just be firm with that without it turning into an aggressive exchange. You see what I'm saying? So it just, it's really beneficial. So these spiritual baths and the spiritual cleansings work. I'm a spiritual cleanser on a daily practice. Like, I've made that a part of my ritual. And it's not because I'm paranoid and I think that the haters is after me or no shit like that. I'm just one of those highly sensitive beings where energy just affects me in a special way. And just as a precaution, just as a measure to protect myself, to protect my energy, to protect my neck, I got to get myself a righteous cleansing practice, a righteous protection practice going on. And so I incorporate a lot of that in my morning routines. My soaps, I always line them up with some protection. Whatever I'm getting cleaned up with is always lined up with protection. Any of the salts, any of the scrubs that I make, always lined up with a little special sauce. Any of the room sprays, special sauce. Bling, bling, baby, bling, bling. Or like my cousin, he told, bip, bam, boom. That's what it is. Yeah. So definitely the floor wash. And then I remember I'm going through Facebook, the few times that I'm going through Facebook, and I saw that somebody had posted in one of the groups that I'm in that Creolin what is that floor wash stuff, right? It's ammonia cleanser type of deal. And I mean, it smells like Lysol, like that old shit that my granddad and them used to use back in the day to clean up the house and everything. This is called Creolin, and it has like that mothball type of smell to it, right? And then you clean the floors with it. Let me tell y'all something. I just cleaned one room. I took a capful. I said, oh, let's see what this shit do, right? You know what I'm saying? Like I said, I believe absolutely nothing initially, right? Let's see what this shit do. Let's see what it do. And threw it on in there and everything. And believe it or not, I could actually feel, and it was just a cup with a little bit of water. I threw some on a rag and I started wiping the baseboards up along the window sills and shit, just to see what it do. And around this little altar that I keep that's in the bedroom, you know what I'm saying? That's another show. Wipe that whole area. I could feel the energy shift immediately. So that's some shit that works. Some true spiritual cleansing. I got to set aside a day or two to really get some of that cleanser and really, after I clean the house, just really wipe everything down. That's what my game plan is going to be for around the equinox, springtime. That spring cleaning ritual. Get some of that shit. I'm telling you, that just that little bit of cleaning that I did. So I cleaned out the bathroom with it and everything, changed up. And I mean, it wasn't like a low vibration, but there was, some like moisture gathering up under my sink and all of this other shit. It was, you know what I'm saying? And I'm like, what is that mildew type thing going on and everything? Wipe that shit out. Wiped it out. Wiped it out. Wiped it out. So yeah, and it raised the vibration, because I don't know if you notice, if you smell some type of mildew smell or something like that, there's a weird ass low vibration energy that's connected to that shit. I don't know what that's all about. But yeah, I don't, and you know what's coming to think about, maybe I need to go investigate. Maybe I was mold or some shit and I'm just deluding myself. But I did notice that there was a low charge of energy connected to that scent. I'm like, what the fuck? What the Sam Hill? But then again, I just got a quick little flash when I forget to pull my clothes out of the washing machine and leave them in there and they mildew. That's like the worst thing ever. Oh, and throw some baking soda up in that piece, rinse it real good. And somebody gave me a tip saying that you can use distilled vinegar to get that out, but I don't know, but I'll try it and see what it do. But that helps with that. And so you know what I'm saying? So that scent of mildew, there's yeah, 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 yeah. There's a low charge of energy with that mildew smell. It's you know what I'm saying? It's kind of twisted. Like what the hell? You know what I'm saying? Maybe it's a mildew demon or some shit. I don't know. I don't. Don't get me started. But anyway, those are some things that help out. And they talk about the nuts that you can put in the bath and everything. I'm not really sure how that works because I never really tried to do any cleansing with nuts. I don't really, you make a tea with it? Do you crush them? Like how is that done? And then, like as far as the cleanup, man, I guess maybe it's the same if you put fresh herbs into something, and you know what I'm saying? But I always strain the herbs before I put them in the bath. I don't want like herbs all on my body and everything, and then I got to hose them off. I don't want that. So I just strain them, like a tea, and then pour the water, the tea into the bath, and it works just as good. Now, like I said, no disrespect to your process, no disrespect. Trust me, I'm coming from a no system, a totally ignorant, I dab into everybody's spiritual system type of perspective. I have no home. I have no home. I deals with everybody's system. And if you got a tip to give me that's in your system, I probably know nothing about it and I would greatly appreciate it. imagedivine@outlook.com. Hit a sister up. Yeah. With a tip or three. Yes, because I'm with that. The eggs, that was the other thing that was in here. I was leafing through there and everything. I never tried to do a spiritual cleansing with an egg, but apparently you can take an egg and like run it across your body and absorb energy. I can feel that. I can definitely feel that, and I can see how that happens. So I'm gonna definitely give that a try, especially some of the times when I'm feeling, some pain in my leg. I have an onyx egg that I work with. Hold up, let me grab that shit real quick. Right here. I got an onyx egg that I work with, right? And when my knee is feeling all swelly and stiff and everything, that's the old lady shit that's happening. I'm gonna be working on trying to figure out how to navigate that shit. But when that shit start happening, like if the weather's cold, whatever is going on and shit like that, I rub that on there and everything. And I swear this thing starts to heat up and then the pain starts to dissipate. This is some gangster ass shit. So I definitely see how that egg works. Definitely. I can just, I can just imagine. I can feel that though. I really can. I feels that. So yeah, definitely, definitely, definitely. And then the other thing, that they were talking about, the incenses, of course. Incense is something that I really had rocked with, especially early in the spiritual practice. I really started noticing how frankincense and myrrh completely changed the way a room felt at the time. And that amazed me. So I had to break that news out. And everybody thought that I lost everybody that were not about this work thought that I lost my damn mind for the most part. But let me tell you something. The few that was really considering what I had to say, tried that shit and definitely saw what I was saying. There's victory in that shit, y'all. Victory in it. But anyway, I'm running low on time. Let's get some guidance to go before I crawl up out of here. I'm going to pull that from the Kim deck. I got card number 6. Card number 6. And card number 6 is Fog Veil, Heart's Desire, and Unseen Shifts. So this card right here is really, really telling you about trusting your higher self, trusting, looking deeper into what's going on, right? And when things are happening and it starts to seem like things are working against you a little bit, and you're working to get towards that goal, and it seems like there's a lot of player haters, there's a lot of folks that got their leg out and all of that other stuff, like being able to look past all of the minutia, the little stuff, and keeping your eye on the prize and noticing how things start to open up for you, right? The number on this card is 6. 6, 6. 6 is the number of harmony. 6 is the number of nurturing, family vibes. You know what I'm saying? Acceptance. Come on over here. Let me give you a hug. Come with us. You know what I'm saying? Oh, she's cool. She over here with us. That energy, that vibe, that belonging, that whole nurturing support. That's what I was looking for. Support type of energy, that support type of vibe, right? So with that energy, that number 6, it being that energy of harmony, of nurturing, of acceptance, right? But the challenge with that in number 6, right, is acceptance and vision. And so this card is talking about that veil, that fog, right? Where you're having a hard time seeing the bigger picture, getting kind of clouded by all of this minutia that's around you and everything. This card is telling you to be encouraged. Keep your eye on the prize. Keep the vision, because you're going to see the reward. The desired result is harmony. That's going to all happen when you keep your eye on the prize. Stay focused. Stay in tune. You got all of that shit. All of that shit. Just trust your intuition. Look past the bullshit. Sometimes it sounds pretty, but is it? Hmm? Keep your eye on desired results. Stay focused on yours. It's all that. Peace and light, peace and love, family, and I will see you next week. Word?